You know, worry is something that the majority of us deal with. The problem is, worry is thinking about the potentials of what might go wrong. It's a world that we create. Let's find out how to solve it here on Choosing Your Future.
Life is not about you living in the past. It's not about you living in fear. It's about your dreams. It's about what you believe. Life is about you. Choosing your future.
Lessons for the future begin here.
Welcome to the Choosing Your Future podcast. This is episode 25, and it's recognizing dealing with worries, anxiety, and stress. And you know, there's a lot of people dealing with this issue. Before we get started, though, I want to tell you thank you for listening, number one. Number two, hey, check us out at the website. A lot of great things going on. And by the way, some of the things we're going to be talking about on this series of podcasts, we're going to have links on the blog part of the website that you can look at and see some of the research and data as well. But thanks for listening. Drop us a line. Let us know you like the program and the podcast, and love to hear from you. You can do that at www.choosingyourfuture.org, or you can make a comment on one of the podcast listening services. For instance, iTunes or Podbean or whatever you're listening on, and we would love to hear from you. Let's jump into this. You'd think people would think, I know when I'm stressed. Look, I know when I'm stressed. I know when I'm worried. I know when I don't need anybody. I can recognize it. You know what? That's true in some cases. There's some people you look at and say, man, they need to chill out. They're stressed. But did you know that stress and anxiety can also be very hidden? It may not show up emotionally, but it can affect the physical body and the spiritual realm as well. Now, we're going to look at this from many different standpoints. We're going to look at it from science, from some psychologists, but most importantly, we're going to look at this from a scriptural point of view. I believe they all work together, and I'm a firm believer in God and in Christ, and I believe we don't have to say, well, if you believe in science, you can't believe in the Bible, and vice versa. So let's find out some things and see what we discover today on Choosing Your Future, because this is one thing I do know. Worry is something that affects our future, because what worry is, one of the definitions of worry is the anxiety of what might go wrong. Now, here's the question for you. How many have worried about things that never happened? You were worried about something that this is going to happen, it's going to be horrible, and guess what? It didn't happen. Maybe you took a trip. Things just didn't go as planned. Tickets got messed up, flight got delayed, whatever the case. And you were worried you were going to have a bad time, and it ended up being the best time you ever had. You stressed out over nothing. You worried over nothing. You became anxious for nothing because it all worked out. That's why worry is designed to rob you of future, okay? It has the potential, not the facts, of what could go wrong. Even if something is going wrong, we have a tendency to think or worry about the worst. This is the great thing about hope. Hope gives us the opportunity to get out of worry and see possibilities of greatness. Fear triggers worry. I'll give you an example. Everybody's a doctor thanks to the internet today. And, because the first thing you do when you have a pain somewhere, the first thing you do, oh my God, I wonder what that is. I hope it's not what I think it is. And lo and behold, you get on a website and, it tells you to go see the doctor immediately. Well, they're not going to tell you not to, because if you took their advice, then they could get in trouble. So they're always going to tell you to see a doctor. It might be serious. And, you get a headache and you read some of the weird symptoms that you might be having, and you start worrying, oh my God. Then fear kicks in because you just read, It might be cancer. It might be a brain tumor. It might be, you're losing some of your mind or whatever the case may be. Come to find out it's just a sinus headache. The problem with a lot of information, having access to a lot of information, sometimes we can get the wrong information. Okay? And having wrong information can cause us to worry. This is what worry does in itself. It creates wrong information in your brain, meaning that what begins to happen is that you start imagining things that aren't there or could be there that are not there. The problem is this imaginary thing is already creating effects in you emotionally and even physically, spiritually. It's creating strain or stress with your relationships, affecting how you do your job. So in essence, worry is designed to destroy and rob you of your future. To think about those things which are good, just, pure. To think about the things that are good. And we're going to find out here that what's amazing about worry, you can do it all day long, but it's not going to add to anything. In other words, it's not going to solve the problem. Let's look at the difference between anxiety, worry, and stress. Anxiety is a feeling of worry. It's like nervousness or uneasiness, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. So you are about to embark on an event, but you're not sure how this is going to turn out. Okay. Worry, on the other hand, is it gives way to anxiety or uneasiness, and allows one's mind to dwell. Keyword, dwell. One's mind to dwell on difficulty or troubles. That's what worry does. It doesn't think about the solution. It's always thinking about the problem. What could go wrong? How's this going to destroy my life? Worry is about dwelling on problems. It's a state of anxiety and uncertainty over actual or potential problems. So in other words, when you worry, anxiety, let's put it this way, anxiety is to be uncertain about something. Worry is about thinking about the problems and creating problems that don't even exist. You know, you could have a bad dream about your spouse, and let's say maybe you had a dream that they cheated on you or something. You wake up that morning, and that dream is in your head. Now, they're the most faithful person on God's green earth, okay? Yet, that dream has conjured images, and these images in your mind have created a state of worry. And the person that you're married to is like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. What's wrong? Nothing. And then the next thing you know, you're in a big fight over something and accusing them of something they didn't do because you were worried about your dream. You know, sometimes dreams aren't about the future of our lives. Sometimes they're just bad pizza. Okay? Not every dream is a dream about the purpose and plans of our lives. Sometimes, you know, we just have bad dreams because of subconscious. And if you really want to get down to that, maybe there's a fear that you have. That's why you dream the dream. Which takes me to this point. Fear is a producer of worry. Okay? So let's look at it this way. So anxiety is about uncertainty. I don't know how to handle the uncertainties, which brings worry. And what happens is we begin to meditate or think or dwell on difficult troubles that could or could not happen. We dwell on this in our mind. Now we have to deal with the stress issue of this. And stress is a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very damaging or demanding circumstances. Well, when you have created this world in your mind of worry, you've already created a stressful situation on your body. I've talked to several doctors, especially intestinal GI doctors, guys that deal with your stomach and intestines, your colon and all these things. And I've had many of them tell me that the biggest problem with our digestive system is stress and worry, anxiety. It's causing more trouble than we realize. And see, you may say, well, I'm not stressed at all. I can handle life perfectly. Well, we can find out through other triggers in your system. You may not show it outwardly, but it may be like with your emotions, but it could be affecting you physically. And so it's important that we recognize these kind of things. And so worry is a world we create that may not happen, but the reaction of it affects our life already, as if we're actually really living in it. And I know some of you can probably really truly identify this with this issue. I want to read something to you out of Matthew 6. And it's verse 25. I'm going to read it out of the Amplified Bible, and it says this: "Therefore I tell you, stop being worried or anxious, perpetually uneasy, distracted." See, that's one of the things that worry does. It distracts us. It distracts us from the possibilities of good, and it takes us into the world of the negative. That's why I say worry will rob you of your future. It goes on to say, "Therefore I tell you, stop being worried or anxious, perpetually uneasy, distracted about your life as to what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body as to what you'll wear. Is life not more than food, and the body more than clothing?" I'm not trying to, belittle people who go hungry or who doesn't have clothes to wear. But I've been in countries, and I've been in many poverty area countries where they didn't have a lot of food, they didn't have a lot of clothes. But you know what? Man, did they have life. They were laughing, playing, loving, enjoying life. They didn't think about the food. They focused on something else. And I think that's what we have to learn to do with life in general. Can bad things happen? Yes. But worrying about what comes is not going to change things. You realize there's some people that never, ever live their life to their fullest potential because they are worried they will fail. They are worried that they won't succeed. They are worried that somebody won't love them, like them. There are people that don't get involved in relationships because they are worried that somebody doesn't care. Well, let me tell you something. That kind of worry is useless. You are valuable. You have giftings. You have talents. Stop letting worry rob you of what may not happen, and start letting faith allow you to believe what's possible. Choose your future. It's yours. Take it.
Thank you for listening to the Choosing Your Future podcast. For more information, please visit choosingyourfuture.org. That's choosingyourfuture.org.